Did you know that Jesus talked more about money than about any other subject in the New Testament? It's interesting, and I guess it's because Jesus knows something about us that maybe you and I don't even realize, and that is that money gets right to our heart. It shows where our values are. If you open up somebody's checkbook, you can figure out what they care about based on where they've spent their money. And I think Jesus spent so much time talking about money because he knew that money is something that can either help us fulfill our purpose in life or it can take us totally off track. And unfortunately, a lot of people get off track. They start to think that the reason for their life is to accumulate money or the things that money can buy or the happiness money can buy, when in fact, money is just a tool God gives us to fulfill his greater purposes for our life. And so when people get into bondage to debt, or they become a workaholic, or they can't get any fulfillment unless they're spending money, what happens is they start to miss the real reason God has them on earth. And here's the good news. The Bible tells us how, not only how to manage our money practically. I guess a lot of people don't realize the Bible has a lot to say about that. But it doesn't just teach us how to manage our money, it tells us how to look at our money, what it actually is. Jesus said that we should invest where we want our heart to be. He said, where your treasure is, that's where your heart will be. So rather than having all of our treasure stored up on earth, or rather than counting money as the thing we're putting our faith in, instead we look at money as just one more thing God has entrusted to us that we can use to bless the world, to benefit other people, to serve him. And so money, for most people, I suppose, could be something they don't really want to think about. They don't want to think about the future. They're not prepared for the future. They've got debts. They've got all these problems. But when you can look at money from God's perspective, everything changes. And you start to say, God, thank you for what you've given me. And maybe you work hard to get more. But even through that, you're still saying, God, I can't wait to use my money in a way that brings glory to you, in a way that fulfills the purpose of my life.